Calling the CARICOM community, assembling global Africa, the 4th edition of the Afri-Caribbean Trade Investment Forum. Active 2025 is coming to St. George, Grenada, this 28th to 29th July. Join government and business leaders, investors, and trade and finance institutions to explore the theme, resilience and transformation. Enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty. Be there as we stand together to strengthen our commercial ties, to promote shared trade and investment opportunities, and unlock prosperity for Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. The 4th Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. Reserve your place now at active2025.com.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Yeah. Yes. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today's Monday. Yeah. Nice. At followers, guys. At followers. It's another hot Monday, guys. Yeah, it's hot Monday. Yeah, you guys heard about the hot Wednesday? Hot Monday inside NYC. It is it is hell hot in New York. It's been that way for the past couple of days, guys. We are under a heat wave. AC's running, not in studio though, fans running. It's just been really hot. I have 2 dogs, right? Brooklyn and Henry, and they don't even want to come outside. They're in the basement. Coolest part of the house. How you guys doing? Welcome to the ride. Over the weekend, I realized, guys, I think we had to start up something where we have a weekend program. Because over the weekend, I have some stuff I want to interact, I want to get over to you guys. And sometimes I miss you guys on the weekend. So yeah, we got to do something on the weekend. Christine, how you doing? Denise, how you doing? Big up yourself. At followers, everybody. At followers. Today, we're going to be speaking with a former pimp. No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I could almost read your guys' mind. Jennifer, how you doing? What do you mean a former pimp? Like once a pimp, always a pimp, right? We're going to find out more about that. Charlie Spice is here. Yeah, Charlie Spice is here. And he has a story to tell. And not only that, Charlie Spice has a brand new book out. We're going to talk about that as well. And you guys know who Charlie Spice is, right? Charlie Spice has been a guest on whether we have the men's summit or Battle of the Sexes. Charlie Spice, Lydia, how you doing? Charlie Spice has been here. Let me show you guys a quick something. This is Charlie Spice. This is a pimp. Look, this is Charlie Spice. But seriously, guys, Charlie Spice is a straight-up businessman, a very smart and intuitive and alert businessman. So he took it to the next level. Charlie Spice has a new book out and talking about pimp and pimpin'. And don't get it wrong, guys. Pimp is not, in Charlie Spice world, is not what you think. Well, in Charlie Spice world, pimp is people's indiscretion managed professionally. That's what pimp is. He'll tell us all more about that as well. All right, guys, so at followers, share the program. Before we bring on Charlie Spice, Danette, how you doing? Cindy, thank you. How you doing? Share, guys, share. I ain't seen enough @followers. I ain't seen enough shares. So we got to delay Charlie Spice until I feel comfortable. No. This is Lydia James. This is not a rerun. Lydia James, this is not a rerun. This is live. It's Monday the 14th. All right? Exactly. Lydia James over there on YouTube asking if this is a rerun. No, it's live. Cinda, Charles, how you doing? Big up yourself. Let me add followers here. Add followers. All right, guys. All right. Oh, yeah. She can share. She could tag. Sorry, Lydia. James, big up yourself, Lydia. Danette, big up yourself. All right, guys. So let's go into it. All right, guys. All right. So let's get into it. So, as I said earlier, Charlie Spice has been a guest on this program for the past couple of years. He's been a guest on our Battle of the Sexes, where he gives advice and information in regards to relationship issues, relationship situation. And he's been about 5 to 8 times at least on the program. We've been following Charlie Spice for years. And one time he appeared on the program and he made the declaration that, in fact, he's going to write a book about his previous life. And today, I got the information that he actually did. And the book is out. So, what better reason to bring back Charlie Spice to chat with us here about everything. Let's welcome back to the program your guys' favorite guest, Charlie Spice. How you doing, my friend?
I am fine, Junior. Thank you again for having me on your show. I've always enjoyed being on your show. If I'd had enough time to prepare, I would have bought a pimp hat and leather jacket and the full costume so that I could appear in character.
But we got it.
Unfortunately, you did not give me enough time to do that. I would have been looking just like this dapper guy here.
We got it. Charlie, is that you or that's somebody else? Is that a stock photo or is that you?
Come on, Junior, that's me. Can you see how good looking he is? I mean, look at that smile. Who else could it be, Junior? Huh?
The real pimp boy. Lord have his mercy in all his glory.
Sorry to disappoint your viewers, but that is not me. That is just a promotional image. But I thought it was quite fitting, for the book. So I thought I would put him on the homepage.
Okay. Okay. All right. So before we get on to the whole pimping, I didn't choose pimp. Pimping chose me. Charlie, I came across a story the other day where you was somehow suing Meta, Facebook, and Meta and all its companies, Facebook, WhatsApp. I mean, you suing Meta. That's a big story. Saw it in the papers. What's happening there?
You sneaked that one upon me, but we can address that. I recently decided to take action against Meta Platforms Inc., which is the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, because they deleted my account. First, they suspended it, and then they deleted it. They claimed that I had breached their community guidelines, but never told me what exactly I had done. And I'm sure that they're covered in their 50-page terms and conditions to do it, to shut people down at will. But it is time for people to stand up against tech giants who feel because of their money and their power and influence that they can do whatever they want, regardless of how it impacts someone's lives or business. In my case, I have been using Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp for years to support my businesses. And as a result of being shut down, I have lost a considerable amount of credibility and money. So I've decided to take things further. I have recruited the services of a legal team in the United States, and we've sent them a letter giving them 14 days to respond satisfactorily, and then we will lodge the lawsuit in the state of California.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
suing them for 50 million US dollars. I'm making a statement here. The amount of losses that I have incurred so far and will continue to incur, I will never know. It's untold. It's an untold amount of money.
So your Facebook, your Instagram, and your WhatsApp, everything is gone.
Gone, gone. And people people depend on these platforms to operate their businesses. Their entire brand is on these platforms. So they need to do more before shutting people down. They need to let them know, first of all. There need to be some recourse. They had given me the opportunity to appeal, and I did, but still they continued the suspension, and then they shut me down. And today I do not know why exactly they shut me down. And I have
Interesting.
losses. I have real losses that I can quantify.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I remember a few years ago, my Facebook got shut down, and the way how I went about it, I mean, I tried all the stuff to try to get it back, but I remember Facebook came with those goggles, those glasses that it was promoting, and so I had one of them. And the way how I got it back was I appealed to them and I said, well, I bought these glasses and it only works with if you have a Facebook account. No, I
Yeah.
can't even use the glasses. I spent over $200 for it, and you deleted my Facebook account. And at the time, I mean, I guess they considered the fact that I, I don't know if they considered that, but shortly thereafter, my account was put back.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's sad to have your account taken
Most
away.
most people, Junior, most people just accept it because they don't think they can fight against a tech giant like Meta.
Right.
And I could imagine how many hundreds of thousands of people experienced this and nothing was done about it. But precedence was set. I've in my research, a number of people took action against them and actually won by way of settlement because these tech giants don't like to go to court. The reputational damage that they suffer is not worth it. And so some people have actually sued them, taken action, and instead of going to court, they settled. I mean, President Trump is actually one of the victims of this, and he won. They settled for $25 million.
Mm,
But but that's Donald Trump. I'm
yeah.
I'm not in the league of Donald Trump. So
Right, right. Well, hopefully you find a resolution to this, and that's probably going to be precedence to what's happening because a lot of people are going to get deactivated without them even doing anything. So hopefully something successful. So where you at with that right now? Are you moving forward? Are
we're
you still there?
we're just at the deadline of the 14 days given to them by my attorney to respond, and at that point I will know what measures will be taken going forward. But they
Oh,
have 14 days, and I think someday this week will be the expiration of the 14 days.
okay. All right. Okay. So we wish you all the best with that. So let's talk about this, Charlie. As I said earlier, I remember having this conversation with you about a year back, and you spoke about the book, "The People's Indiscretion Managed Professionally," a pimp, and your whole life of being a pimp. Before we get into the book, which is the premise of the conversation, I want to talk about your life being a pimp, right? And that lifestyle. How did you and why did you get into that lifestyle?
Just as you had scripted in your write-up, the lifestyle chose me. I didn't choose it. When I was young and still in Barbados, I did not know there was a profession called it. There was a sex industry profession called pimp. I did not even know there was a sex industry. You know, there were a few areas in Barbados where prostitutes would ply their trade, and that's the extent to which I knew anything about the global adult entertainment industry or sex industry. When I was in Los Angeles and times were very difficult, I chanced to meet a very attractive blonde lady who owned an escort agency.
Mm-hmm.
And she had approached me in a cafe. She had seen me walk in the street, and we exchanged smiles. And she came in and chatted with me and offered me the opportunity to become a male escort. Or let's break it down, a male prostitute.
Ah,
And that was my introduction into the sex industry. So I worked with her agency as a male prostitute and or escort, and also got the opportunity to do a bit of stripping because some of the clients would require that from me. At that time, I had a lot more rhythm than I have now, and certainly a lot more flexibility. So I and a lot more moves back then.
Charlie, I've met a lot of people. I've been in Manhattan. I've seen a lot of people. People smile at me, but never once did anyone approach in like, "Hey, do you want to be a prostitute?" Like that is so far fetched, not far fetched, but
It's
far
a
from an
It
approach.
goes a little deeper than that. We're talking about someone who actually owns an escort agency. I mean, the
Right,
people you met that smiled at you were obviously not in that industry.
right.
But her interest primarily was in me, not necessarily for me to work with her.
Ah, I see.
She, she found me attractive, and I, of course, found her very attractive. She was a lot older than I was, and she came into the cafe. Actually, she wasn't intending to come into that cafe because I walked in there. She parked and came back
Oh,
and started to talk to me, and instead of just being honest and letting me know she was attracted to me, she offered me a job because I guess that was plausible deniability.
right,
So she could talk about something that was actually real.
right,
So she offered me a job, and I jumped all over that opportunity because back in Barbados, I was such a flirt. I mean, I had my record with the girls was quite good, and I had the gift of the gab. I was young, I was fit, nice, always in the gym. So the thought of making money from something that I did for free for years was exciting. I mean, and I had to pay rent. I had to put food on the table. I was in Los Angeles and I did not even have the legal right to be in America at that time. I overstayed my time, so I needed to make money, and that
right.
was an option offered to me, and I took it. And I worked with her for quite some time, and then eventually I got the opportunity to manage her agency. So I managed the girls. There were, I think, at that when I took over, there were around 30 girls, and I took it to 75 girls, and we were booking girls all over the world, and I actually managed them. So I got a taste for the entrepreneurial side of the industry, and I continued working as a male escort because she had introduced me. She at that time did not have a business for male escorts,
Right.
but because she offered it to me and I accepted, she then set me up on appointments with her friends who were very wealthy, and I circulated amongst 8 to 10 women for about 2 years, and I traveled all over the world. All over the United States. I went on cruises. I had a hell of a time. And I mean, my very first job, I made about $1,000 US. And for a young guy, 21, 22, back in the 80s, that was a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, going from broke, not knowing how I was going to pay my rent, to So that was an opportunity that I could not turn down. So I see a message saying, "Let ICE hear you." I'm happy for ICE to hear me. I
Yeah.
am the statute of limitations has
From the,
run out
yeah, a long time ago. A long time ago.
a long time ago.
But Charlie, I'm thinking about it. This is a very timely interaction because we just saw the Diddy case where we heard about prostitute going in and all sorts of different things that have been requested of prostitute. But when you would go in, you as a male stripper, how do you actually prepare for those things? And are you concerned about all the safety that may come with being a prostitute, going out and meeting people, not knowing what you're walking into?
I was fortunate in that I met a very wealthy, very successful lady. She was married to a movie producer. She owned several businesses, owned properties. So I went in at a very high level. So
Oh,
the consideration of risk did not come into consider. I didn't come into play for me. I mean, at the street level, of course, then there's a lot of there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of criminal element there, and but at that level, no, I didn't have that concern, and I was providing my service to women who were equally as wealthy as she was. So, didn't have that. I did not have that concern.
what would be some of the requests? I mean, you went through it. I mean, you could speak freely to us. What was some of the
Yeah.
requests? Because I'm hearing some of the things that went on, especially in the Diddy case, crazy stuff. What would they expect of you? Is it just sex? Is it just companionship? What is it?
Sex definitely, but companionship also. I mean, we went out. We would go out for dinner, and I had a lot of the social graces required for them to be comfortable to go to dinner with me as well. It wasn't just about sex. Sex, it always ended up, you know, with sex. Obviously, that's what they're paying for primarily. But there was a lot of confidence between myself and these ladies who talked about their problems in their marriage and problems in life, problems in business, and I was, you know, I was quite intelligent for a guy my age, quite advanced, and it made for very good conversation. But sex was the core purpose for them booking me and paying me $500 or
Hmm.
$1,000, depending on how long.
So most of the women that you went out with, they were primarily married and cheating on the
Yes.
husband, or were the husband or boyfriend involved in the whole freak off? And I
Most
say
of them
freak
were.
off intentionally there.
No, that is P Diddy. Yeah. That's P Diddy's thing. This is years before the freak offs.
Okay, okay, okay.
Although we had our own freak offs back then as well, but they were much older. Well, I would say much older. I mean, I was 21, 22. They were 30, 35, 40, and most of them were married.
Uh-huh. So was it?
I dare say happily married.
Oh, so do you feel like they just needed a companion, a person, or something that was lacking at that relationship level that you fulfill?
you know, it, to be that intellectual about it. Tell you, these
Uh-huh.
women just like having fun. They women with too much money. It gets to a point where they don't know what to do with it. They'll buy a more
Ah,
expensive bag each time. They buy a more expensive car each time, and if and they're going to pay for the company of a man. And if the man is expensive, they can brag about it. It's all about fantasy spending. It wasn't necessarily because they were having problems in their marriage. That was part of it, obviously, because if they were happy at home, they would not be booking me. But it was something for them to brag about, and they would go out with me, and then go back and have coffee or cocktails or champagne and talk about it amongst themselves. Because then, I mean, I would book one lady today, and then one of the other nine would tell me what she said last week about me. So it was a vicious cycle. But it's now don't let's not simplify it to be or overcomplicate it, I should say,
mhm,
that it's all a psychological issue. No, they just wanted to have fun, and they had the money to afford it. And if it
mhm.
wasn't me, it would have been somebody else.
How do you prepare for something like that, Charlie? Going in, how do you?
There's no rule. I think the fact that I was very promiscuous and very flirtatious and very confident among the opposite sex in Barbados, and also to being coming from Barbados, I interacted with many women from other countries, so I was quite comfortable with women from all over the world because I lived in a tourism environment.
Right.
So that helped me a lot. And then I was a party animal, so I knew all the current dance moves. And so when they asked me to do a strip dance for them, I mean, it was quite natural. It was probably different to the strip dancing they got from white guys in California, because
Yeah.
I had more of the wine in my waist back then, the Caribbean rhythm.
Ever had any terrible experiences?
Um, not with no, not with those ladies. Well, there was one that was quite full figured, quite large, and I've never fancied very big women, for relationship or sexually, and it was quite. It was at first. It took a little getting used to,
I see.
and but when it doesn't. Once it's a matter of survival, you do what you have to do. Let's not fool ourselves. When you are looking at being hungry or having money to buy food, you will do what you have to do, and you'll quickly acquire that consciousness. You've got to be able to separate mind from body, because you're not having sex with women that you would normally be attracted to when you go out to a club and socializing personally with your friends. So you've got to acquire an ability to focus on the fact that this is business, and you separate, like I said, mind from body, and you just do your job, and you get better at it. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
So
Matter of
you're not.
fact, it was even difficult in the beginning.
Mhm.
Like, having sex socially is easy because you're having sex with someone that you're attracted to. But when it's
Right.
someone you're not attracted to, it can be quite difficult to get sexually aroused. So that is a skill I had to acquire.
Right, right. I know a lot of people asking this question privately, but I'll throw it at you in this way. Have you ever had a request to perform for same sex, like men?
No, no. I've only provided my service when I was a male escort to female clients. And this is not to say that I did not have requests, but I turned them down. At that time in my life, I was quite homophobic. When I first left Barbados, I did not yet acquire the ability to accept everyone on a level playing field. If you were gay, I was totally against you, because that was my socialization. That was my indoctrination in Barbados. Coming from a Caribbean society. So that would be absolute. No, now I have some of my best friends in the world are gay.
Mhm.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with people who are gay now, but back then, oh Jesus, if you came too close to me, there's a story in my book that I will share with you if we have enough time,
Mhm.
where I've actually had an encounter with a man in New York,
Mhm.
and I was in a club, and this beautiful lady came in and started dancing, and I was so turned on. I was going to make love to that woman tonight. That was my plan, and of course, with my confidence, I start chatting, and then you kiss in the air, and you're nibbling, and you're kissing the lips, and then before it was too late, my cousin told me, Charlie, that's a man. That is a man that you are kissing. I did not know. And that left me traumatized for years, Junior, because I'm questioning myself, how the hell can a man make me feel that good? I mean, I I had the listen, I have never had an erection like that before. I could cut glass with my erection. That is how solid it was. And it was a man, but I did not know. I thought it was a woman. And so it left me questioning my sexuality for a while. Wondering, wait a minute, am I gay and I don't know it?
Wow, wow. So how
But
do you?
having having said that,
Huh.
it took me about 20 years to have the confidence to share that story with anyone. And it's
Okay,
in my
well,
book.
yes. So that could have turned out a way, and I'm sure in real life you have situations, especially now, where people do, or they go out, and I've been on Pennsylvania Avenue, right here in Brooklyn, on Pennsylvania Avenue. You drive past there, and there are always these women just walking by with a mini. You don't know what is what. Um, how could you decipher? How could you know, like, or how could you protect yourself from something like that? Not necessarily protect yourself, but how could you know to avoid situations or don't have a situation like that again?
Well, um, from that time onwards, every time I met a woman, I would test very quickly what's down below. You can
Yeah.
okay, but I mean, I've seen some lady boys. I mean, in my profession, I've had male clients who wanted me to book male escorts for them, and I've booked what we call lady boys from Thailand
Uh-huh.
in the UK and Europe for male clients. And some of these lady boys are so drop dead gorgeous, you wouldn't believe it. You would not know until it's too late. And at which point you either kill them, or in some cases, if you've got a weak constitution, some people might look around and say, "Well, I'm already here. I might as well finish what I started."
Wow.
If we had left together and I'd found out that without my cousin behind me, I probably would have killed her or
Oh,
him
oh,
or
don't, don't,
he
don't,
or
don't,
they.
don't say that word in that context.
Huh?
Because, Facebook might do to me what it did to you. Guys, we chatted here with Charlie Spice, and he's talking about his life as a male, as a pimp, right? We spoke earlier about him being early in the game and being doctrinated into the lifestyle and doing a whole lot, but with higher scale type of individuals, not on the street, not roaming the street, but on a high level. Charlie, you also spoke about you booking women. So after you didn't draw back, but you were also in the process of sending out women, right? How
Yes.
how did you make money from it, and how did they make money from it?
Well, when you work with girls in the industry, there's a set price that the client pays, and a percentage goes to the agency, and a percentage goes to the girl. We have to do the promotion, we have to do the marketing, we've got to provide the security, provide transportation, and we take a percentage, and that is by mutual agreement before we start working together.
Right, and that is understood. And again, we're
I
not.
see a message there. I'm looking at a message in the group, in the chat room there, where someone is saying that I have a lot of repenting to do.
Yeah.
I do not have any regrets about most of the choices I made in my life.
Hmm.
Okay. As a matter of fact, if I had to do it all over again with my experience, I'll make a lot more money now than I did before. But I don't. I do not have an issue with anyone who chooses to have sex on a commercial level or just give it away to different men for free. I don't have an issue. Okay. As long as they're consenting adults, if they decide to add money in the mix to pay for what they want, I have no issue with that. So, as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing to repent for.
Okay. Let's talk about the book, Charlie. In the book, you present your life story unapologetically and truthfully, acknowledging that it might some readers, and it might make some readers sort of uncomfortable, like the story that you just told there, right? Um, let's talk about the moment in life that pushed you into actually writing this particular book.
They, over the years, many people had their opinions about me, my lifestyle, my choices, and for the most part, they were ridiculing me until I started making a lot of money, and then all of those who ridicule me wanted to become my friends because of my connections. The level of hypocrisy in this world is unbelievable. Okay,
Mhm.
and one of the things I'd always planned to do was to write about my life because everybody had their own opinion, and I felt like soon it's time for me to tell them what it's really like because
Mhm.
everybody's got their segmented thoughts about my life. And even the word pimp, I hate that word, by the way. So
Mhm.
the question you probably have is, so why did I use it as the title of my book?
Right.
Well, I decided to I decided to use poetic justice and use that word back against them. So the acronym is now people's indiscretions managed professionally. So for those who used to point fingers at me and call me, he's just an effing pimp. Well, you know what? I was only able to do my job because mainstream society wanted my service or this service. Okay, so without the 90% of the world wanting the service, we would not exist.
Right.
But yet the ridicule is given to us, not to the 90% of the upstanding citizens who use sexual services and are willing to pay for it.
What about people that come to you and say, well, what about the morality factor? What about the morality aspect? Like, because it makes money, that doesn't really make it right, or that doesn't make it comfortable to live with yourself, right? Like, there are many ways that you could make money. Money could be made in 100 different ways. And people might say, well, why that? You
Well,
know?
like I said, I fell into the industry purely in an unsuspecting way, and I've gotten to realize that, you talk about morality, but whose morality? The people who ridicule me? I have my own morality. Am I supposed to accept and adopt theirs? I've got my own morality. And if I've got no issue with it, I don't need to listen to people who have an issue with it. I have an issue with some people's behavior in life. As a matter of fact, because of my tenure in the industry, I got to find out what is in the closets of many people who ridicule people like me. And they got a lot to answer for. So don't come to me about repenting and morality. Deal with your issues first.
Right. So you don't get bothered by when people come at you with hey,
Oh, absolutely not.
okay.
Absolutely not.
Was there a specific event that made the silence no longer an option for you? That you just had to speak, you just had to write your whole story?
There was never silence, Junior. Everybody talked about my business. Family members did not speak to me for years when they found out. People in my community, had issue, and again, the word that comes back to mind is hypocrisy. Because when I was able to come back to Barbados and bring gifts and help people with their financial issues, then I went from zero to hero. So I'm confused about morality. I'm confused about about people's ideals in life. Anyway, there was never real silence. Everybody talked about it. Talked about me and what I did. My decision to write my book started over 20 years ago, and my mother plays a very pivotal role in my book and in my life and in my choices, and that became the basis of a scandal in my family and in my community. And I did not feel comfortable releasing my book while she was still alive, to be honest, because it took us years to salvage a relationship that actually worked. It wasn't the best mom and son relationship. I love you, mom. I love you, son. But it worked. And I did not want to do anything to jeopardize that little bit of relationship that we were able to salvage. And I didn't think that, of course, she would have, because I travel the world, I have the ability to accept, I would have had a better ability to fathom my writing of my life as it really happened, including issues with my family, than I believe my mom would have had in dealing with it. So right. It would not have been, and that was one thing that delayed the finishing of my book. Also, too, I matured a lot in the last 20 years. So my writing of the book is from a more, more of an understanding of other people's perspectives on me, even the ones who ridicule me. I understand them better than they understand themselves. So I'm more confident about my life and the people in my life and my circumstances, and particularly I remember on my mom's deathbed, I don't know if she heard me. She was in and out of consciousness, but I promised her that she was not going to be the villain in my book, because I'd have a better understanding now of the choices she made back then. Right. I didn't then. I rebelled against those choices.
Right. Now you spoke about painful memories, right? How did this revisiting all these painful memories impact your emotional and mental state during the writing process of this book?
I would recommend to everyone to put pen to paper and relive their life because it helps you to connect the dots. It helps you to better understand the choices you made, the choices other people made that are connected to you, and also to it has a an inbuilt healing mechanism. It's very cathartic to write about your life, and I found healing through writing. I also I also found better understanding, better appreciation for other people, even those who were against me.
I see. William just said here that the morality nonsense is only in the Caribbean, though. The bigger countries, that lifestyle is pretty normal.
Yep. That's why I
Yeah.
asked, whose morality am I to focus on?
Right, right, right.
And I'll tell you something, the people who spoke negatively about me and my choice of profession, they represent the moral minority, not the majority.
Right, right. What about the message, Charlie? Well, after going through the book and analyzing it and processing it, what's the message that you think most readers would take away, walk away after reading your story?
Because I am so brutally honest, I'm confessing things that most people would not dare to even whisper to themselves. I I'm People are going to, okay, let me give you a case in point. I have a friend in Africa who said to me 2 days ago that she wanted to share an experience she had after reading my book. And she, for the first time, was ready and willing to confess that she was sexually abused because she read my book. So people will have the ability to face their fears, face their demons by by reading how someone else is facing his or her demons and being so open about it. Only when confronting demons are you able to really deal with life, present and past.
Right. So are you saying that by reading the book and understanding and going through it, people might come to their own realization and own rationalization that they may able to now put out or tell their story about what happened to them in the past? Think that
Even
what
if
that
they
would
don't tell the story, even if they don't tell the story via a book, just their own rationalization of their lives, coming to terms with their demons. Uh, when you read someone else's experiences, it helps. And I wasn't. I mean, this is happening as collateral benefit. But for me, writing the book was cathartic for me. It was for me to come to terms with my demons. But by extension, it is now helping other people.
Right, right, right. Yeah, as we say here, everyone have a story to tell, and we really promote that people sharing their story. Um, Fear and hesitation, right? Did you face any of these fear or hesitation, or fear and hesitation about how others, especially those mentioned, would react to your truth?
Oh, I'm not sure I understand the
Did you fear?
question. Could you
Did you have any?
rephrase it?
Did you have any fear or hesitation? Did you have any drawbacks? Did you feel like you were hesitant to say a certain story because you don't want to offend someone, or your present person in your life might take it a wrong way? Any hesitation while penning your story?
Yes, yes, definitely. A lot of hesitation. But at the end of the day, I've acquired the ability over years of being in my industry and dealing with society's ridicule and society's condemnation. And that I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm writing my book for me. I'm not writing my book for anyone else. If you happen to read it and enjoy it or benefit from it, I'm happy for that. But I'm writing it for me. So considering other people's reaction, judgment, or opinions was not part of the process. It was only part of the process for my mother and other relatives. So I wanted to be very careful in the way I revisited the stories, and I was very fair and impartial. It wasn't from a young boy's perspective who was angry and rebelling against things that happen in life. I mean, I'm a grown ass man with a lot of understanding of life now. So to go back and revisit, I did a lot of justice to the book by waiting over 20 years to write it. It's not an easy story to write. It's not a book about a walk in the park. I mean, it's a book about something that people would have ridiculed me for years about and will continue to do so.
Right, right. The healing process. You spoke about that healing. How was writing the book? How was writing the book help you with achieving that?
Many of the experiences when you're surviving and you're struggling and you're putting out fires, you're making money to put food on the table, you go through experiences and you don't really understand. You just make hasty decisions and you move on. And um and and writing my book years later, I had the time to think more carefully about what actually happened back then, and I had a better understanding, and I'm more forgiving about uh, of people who were very hard against, because I can understand why people ridicule me. I can understand why people fell out with me, and I don't judge them. So that was the healing process, being able to better understand what actually happened back then. And when you're taking the time to write, it wasn't easy writing either. It took me a few years to acquire the style of writing which I'm now very comfortable with, because I feel that my writing is able to take people on my journey and experience what I experienced, feel what I felt back then. So it took me a while to acquire that, and and I was able to connect the dots, and that is part of the healing process.
Guys, we're chatting here with Charlie Spice, and I know a lot of people. The question that they really want to ask you, which I'm going to ask you anyway at the end, is about the possibility of you making a comeback. But don't answer that yet. We'll get to that. Because I see a lot of people say, well, I don't mind booking Charlie. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that part. If someone say, what do you say to someone who feels ashamed or afraid to confront their past?
I think you should not allow yourself to die without confronting your fears or your past. I think everyone should find a way to confront them and to deal with those demons. Okay. And if it takes writing a book to do that, about your life, or talking to the right people, because if you talk to the wrong person, all you get is judgment
Yeah.
and not understanding. Uh, you have to do something that's going to help you to confront, you know, episodes in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a question here that came in on the WhatsApp. Um, Let me see if I could pull it up. All right, here we go. How have your personal how have you personally changed since leaving the events described in your book?
I've matured a hell of a lot. My experiences in the sex industry has taught me a lot more about mainstream society than mainstream society knows about my my industry, because my industry dealt with many people with psychological problems, people with marital problems, people who found it difficult to get along within society. So, and also to, I am, I have a greater appreciation for people who have struggles, regardless to whether it's from the sex industry or struggles in other walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a lot more conscious about people and 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 how they tick. I'm I'm also a lot more accepting I'm a lot more, you know, I'm certainly not judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
and I've acquired a great disdain for hypocrisy, like you wouldn't believe. I have no tolerance for hypocrisy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've had many people who would point fingers at me, but call me later and say, Charlie, you know, I only had to say that because I was in public. But you know,
Oh,
can I book a girl this weekend?
yeah.
I've
The
had I've
hypocrisy.
had preachers. I've had preachers who were clients. I've had preachers who wanted to invest money in my industry, and when
Really?
I said to one of them, "Are you not a man of the cloth?" He said, "Yeah, but that's on Sundays. I got to put food on the table." So I don't have time for hypocrisy.
Wow.
We don't have enough time on the show to talk about some of the things that that shape the way I am today.
Give us another recollection. I know you gave us one about the person that you met in the club. Do you have another story that really shaped your decision or your life in the lifestyle?
There's so many stories. I there's there's a there's a lot of talk about human trafficking in the last 10, 15 years, and I was involved in human trafficking when nobody knew of the word human trafficking. And I'll explain that. I work for a Russian organization in Eastern Europe where I manage the adult entertainment, and they were actually kidnapping girls and forcing them to work in the industry. And when I started working with them, I did not know about that. When I found out, I then changed it. I said, listen, if I'm going to run this business for you, we don't need to do that anymore. But many of the girls that were working with us were trafficked into the industry. I
Wow.
remember also, um, I remember also when I had booked, I had booked some girls I had recruited some girls from the Albanian mafia, and when I found out that they were trafficked, I helped them to get back to repatriate to their country, and as a result, I can no longer go back to that part of Eastern Europe because I'm sure even today, 30, 25 years later, they would still put a bullet in the back of my head because I was messing with their money, you know.
Mhm.
So, you know, although I was in the sex industry, if this is if people can even understand this, I still had a certain moral compass. I know that sounds like something that's difficult to fathom for
Mhm.
the for the judgmental people in who are viewing this today and in the future, but there were certain lines that I would not cross.
Mhm.
I could not traffic anyone deliberately. If I knew someone was trafficked, I would help them get back home. I could not have anyone I can get into any form of forced prostitution. I can never get involved in child prostitution. I've had to tell many clients, I'm sorry, but that's not my cup of tea. You know, we don't go there. I had a client that wanted to fly me to Thailand on his private jet to find him 8 and 9 year old girls. I had to tell
Wow.
him to I had to tell him a piece of my mind. So I've had all kinds of experiences in this industry.
Mhm. And what about some people who might read that book and read all about the things that you encountered, the changes that you made in your life personally, and they finish the book and they still choose to judge you? What do you have to say to them?
The mere fact that they read the book, I would have achieved my goal. So it doesn't matter how they feel after they've read the book. My aim is to get them to read the book, and,
Right.
you know. But I'm not too concerned about that, to be honest. I am not the person I was 30 years ago. And to answer the question of some of your viewers, that would I get back into the business? No, I would never become a male escort. I think I'm too old for that now. I don't have the desire nor the energy for it.
Right. So
Okay.
no chance of making a comeback.
Well, not as a male escort or a male stripper, but I still have clients around the world who call on my services to organize bookings for them, and even today, or organize some private events and so on. So it's difficult to get society. Just this judgmental society will not let me get out of the industry. They're always calling on my services, but to go back in, you know, full time, and oh no, I've invested in other things. I've invested in technology. I've invested in Airbnb business. I've invested in so many other things over the years. So I don't have that need anymore. But it certainly has shaped my life and the person I've become. And I don't, to be honest, I am. In, this is going to sound strange to some of your viewers, but in a way, I'm happy with the choices I made because it's made me the person I am. I am happy with who I am, and a lot of the people out there can't say that.
Right, right. So, Charlie, again, we're not advocating or promoting or asking people to join the lifestyle. We're merely listening to Charlie's story where everyone has a story to tell. That's what we do here on Ride Along Live. But if someone wanted to read your book, they wanted to get a copy of your book, how could they get it? Or where did they go to get it?
I've done the book differently. It is not an actual book. It's now it's a platform online that
Hmm.
allows you to read the introduction and the preface and the acknowledgement, and you can even read chapter one. But when you go beyond chapter one, you have to join the book club for $9.99, and that gives you access to all the chapters. And the URL is charliespice.com. What else? I'm Charlie Spice. So charliespice.com, and that is where you will read my book. And I want to also do a podcast to coincide with the book so that the book club members can come and have discussion with me like we are having now about my book, about my life, about my choices, about my experiences, and also about their experiences as well. So I will have a podcast, on the Charlie Spice Show where we have a book club segment and we'll talk about the book.
Right, right, right. And in all of this, Charlie, the major takeaway after reading your book, what is that you want them to hold on to? Someone in Grenada, someone in Trinidad, someone in Barbados.
Amidst all of the misconceptions about my life and who I am, I want people to take away the real story. What I've written is exactly what I experienced. I've only changed names to protect the innocent as well as the guilty, but everything in my book is 100% true as it happened. It's raw. And I have to warn people, it's not really for someone under 18 or like maybe under 16, because I'm using really raw language, because that's I want people to actually relive my life through my eyes as it happened, and to take away that experience. But to understand the real me, that's what I want people to take away from the book.
Let me put a link there if you want to read the book. It is charliespice.com. We're gonna get opportunity to read. You say the first couple chapters, Charlie? You,
You'll get one chapter, and then
one
but what you get,
chapter.
you will want more, and it's $9.99 one time fee to basically to be a book club member, and then you have access to all the chapters.
Okay, I told you the man is a businessman, straight up and down. Charlie, listen, I applaud you because you know why? You said he was going to do this years ago. Years ago, Charlie, we had this conversation, and he was talking about people's indiscretion managed professionally. And you did say he was going to write this book. So today, when I saw it, I was like, he did what he said he was going to do. Charlie did his book, right? And although people might criticize, some people may have different opinion. They might put their moral compass and shadow it on you and expect you to follow what they would do morally. You lived your life. You are quite an upstanding citizen right now. You're doing your thing, and I really appreciate you. A friend of the ride, and I don't ever judge you, Charlie. And
Thank
I
you
don't
very
think the
much.
riders,
Yeah,
the
I
riders.
appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Any last word you want to give her there, Charlie, before we wrap up? That hour run pretty fast.
Something that I've always said to people: take me as I am, or just leave me be. I'm not here to make apologies for my life. I'm not here to I'm not here to glorify my life. I'm here to tell my life as it happened. So, do with it what you will, and I hope you take away something that benefits you.
Absolutely. So charliespice.com, and join the book club there. Again, the link is right there in the chat and also on screen. Check it out, guys. And let me know what all you think. All right? Let me know what all you think. Charlie, Thank you, my brother. Thanks for chatting with us here on the ride. We appreciate you, all right? All right.
Thank you very much for having me again on your show.
Absolutely. Charlie Spice there on Ridealong Live. People's Indiscretion Managed Professionally. Charlie Spice and his brand new book. Check it out. Go to charliespice.com. You get a chance to read one chapter, and then, of course, you could therefore go ahead and then join the book club. Charlie Spice, doing his thing. And, you know, one thing we say here, and we continue to say here on Ridealong Live, is that everyone has a story to tell, right? You live your life unapologetically. That's what Charlie Spice did. That's what he have in his autobiography. And that's what he's asking you to check out. Check out the book again, guys. It's charliespice.com. We'll be right back.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'll be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smiles and the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road, 'cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view. Arise, look, no wings, fly.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Celebrating 40 years is a significant milestone that often evokes reflection, gratitude, and recognition of accomplishment.
Feeling very excited about it. When I reflect on it, some artists took 10 to 15 years before they get through. They keep knocking at the door. The first time the nation heard about Eli Gilbert, you know, they show me that love. You know, they show me that respect. They go crazy over the beats. They go crazy over the excitement. They go crazy over the rhythm. And I appreciate that.
Sunday, August 3rd at the Progress Park in St. Andrew. It's Specky 40. Tickets available from gotofed.com. Presented by Eli Gilbert in association with the Spice Mass Corporation and Sedu.
Who want to jam a jamming too?
Hi, I want $10 on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please. Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet? Yes, multi-X, all of them. Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong. Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily Pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Again, guys, Yeah. All right. Yeah. Once again, we'd like to thank Charlie Spice for coming on and chatting with us, guys. You could check out the book and join the book club. It said the author presents his life story unapologetically, which is important, and truthfully acknowledging that it may make some readers uncomfortable. The book serves as a personal catalyst and a means to process painful memories that were long carried in silence. I want you guys to check out the book, guys. It's a great read. As far as what we saw from the first chapter on the website, the acknowledgement, the preface, you will get a chance to read that as well. The introduction is also there, and then you could sign up to read chapter 1 and onwards. Again, the website is charliespice.com, charliespice.com. Yeah. Let me also say, guys, we are getting ready for Spice Mass, Grenada Carnival, and let me tell you something. So on Monday Night Mass, again, we're doing it on the water. This is a total different concept, guys. You have never experienced anything like this before. Monday Night Mass, but we on the water. We on the water. Yeah, we on the water. So we're on the water, but you still got your glow stick, you got your headpiece, everything. The outfits are crazy. The best outfits you could get for Monday Night Mass, it is here on the boat. And we on board with Ecstasy. T-shirt package are available, just a few more remaining. We have a few of the frontline and the VIP. And today, guys, just earlier today, we released a brand new section called The Naked. Now, it's a body paint section. Fully body paint. If you want to check out more, and by the way, the body paint section is very limited, only about 10 or 15 or so. So if you want to play Monday Night Mass on the water with amazing colors, click on that link or go to the website ride.gd. That's ride.gd, ryde.gd. Also, we're telling you about if you want to tour, a lot of people are going to be in Spice Mass. But there's a lot to do, not just Carnival, a lot to do in Grenada. Book a tour, book an excursion, book a bike ride with Ride. Ride excursions and tours. If you're flying to Grenada and the Caribbean, you got to fly with JetBlue. Yeah, fly with JetBlue. Book your flight right now. In fact, get online, book right now with jetblue.com. That's jetblue.com and fly. There are added flights to Grenada and the rest of the Caribbean. Get on it right now. Book with JetBlue at jetblue.com. Thank you for watching and being a part of our program today. On the behalf of our senior executive producer, Lois JJ, we say good night, and good night.